Should be there in just a second.
We're not live yet, are we?
Sometimes this thing is like, you can never tell.
I didn't get a notification yet. Now I did.
All right. We are live. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning into the Super Trucker Podcast. As always, we're glad you guys are joining us. We're in the Super Trucker bunker because the coronavirus has been spreading like wildfire, and we're kind of we haven't left for days. We've been here so long that Big Mike has shrunk and grown a beard. So
what's up, Big Mike?
How's it going, buddy?
Shrunk and got shorter and wider.
Yeah. So like,
and his accent went away. Have you noticed?
That's the microphone. That's the accent canceling microphone. So that's cool. But as always, hey, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Please leave some comments below, some questions. Also, we're gonna have. You didn't hit record over there, my man.
We just did that was all nothing.
Technical difficulties here.
Oh.
Now hit record. Record. It's the button.
The one that says record.
What's happening? Oh my God. Now you did. Okay. Turn it a little bit. See what happens when you let a rookie do something.
Good, helps hard to
All
find.
right, we're back. Super Trucker Podcast. We're in the bunker. We're hiding for the coronavirus, and we are making sure we stay safe so we can bring you up-to-date rates in this market this week. We will be posting them in the comments, so keep an eye out for that. We're not picking and choosing. We are posting every load that we've ran this week with every driver. So that way it'll kind of help you get your finger on the pulse of the market, understand what's good and bad, learn from our experiences. Also, we have a very special guest today. We are excited. This is the one and only. You've probably seen him in every podcast. You've probably heard about him and seen quite a few of his comments. This is Mr. Scott.
Hello, everybody.
Scott, the one and only.
We appreciate Scott always because he's always leaving comments. He's interacting with us. He's a wonderful guy. He's a pleasure to do business with, and we're honored to have him here with us today. So thanks again, Scott, for joining us.
How much you pay this guy to say that?
I was just gonna say I'll give you that $20 before I leave.
I got a vest out of it, but I guess $20 too.
So we got Alyssa says, "Hey boys." Mike says, "Looking good." Thanks, Mike. We appreciate that. We tried. We showered and shaved today just for this special occasion. The shy one says, "Hey now."
Oh, I didn't shave.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you got to be careful because I don't want you to catch the virus. So. And there goes the rates. So, guys, leave your comments, also questions about the rates. But topics for today, Scott, you kind of have a very good perspective on both sides. You're an owner-operator, a successful owner-operator who's trusted the process, but you're also someone who's owned your own authority and been on both sides of the business. And we kind of would like to talk to you a little bit about that today, the pros and cons of having your own authority and what you could kind of share with us, because that's a big question that a lot of our owner-operators have. We always encourage them if they're going to grow to try to grow and take that step, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and you can maybe shed some light on that for us.
As a single truck running under your own authority, I think it's extremely difficult to do that, to be under a load and trying to find that next load. Like most of the time, here with Ralph, I've normally got one or two loads booked out in front of me, and we're looking for that next load. If you're sitting at a dock in the morning making a delivery and looking for that next load to pick up, I don't think you're going to get the best rate, because that broker's fielding more phone calls on that load in the morning than they are the previous day.
Yeah.
Some guys like to play the 3 o'clock shuffle. If you want to do that at 3 o'clock and get a load from a broker who's between a rock and a hard place to get a truck to cover that load, then you can do that. Personally, I didn't find a whole lot of success doing it that way.
It's probably hit or miss when you do something like that.
Well, you're taking the chance of you can either do really good and catch a broker that's in a bind, or you can do really bad and you're sitting there for the night. Yeah, and your truck's not moving, and then you're like back on the phone the next morning trying to find the load again.
Is this going to happen? I spent a long time as a broker, and I can tell you also one of the points on what he's talking about. There are the guys, the solo guys, couple truck guys that are hanging around to that afternoon looking to exploit a situation gone bad for a broker. That can be in your favor. But I know, like, once that would happen to me, like, I never wanted to see that guy again. You know what I mean? Because he got me. And so let's just now say Scott's in a different area, and I have a load there, and I'm not in that situation. And Scott calls me up, and he's like, "Hey, Mike, you remember me?" And I'm like, "Of course I do.
Yeah, I remember
I never
you.
forgot
I
you."
remember you.
Yeah, so it can be a different situation.
But then, you know,
too.
I can even imagine not just that, but the chaos, the chaotic environment you're subject to, like every day, you know, at 3:00 is going to just be a chaotic.
Tampa, Florida to Atlanta, Georgia just won. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but there was a post, a comment that said the first dollar a mile load wins, and
Hey, you know what? Kind of jump
We
on that
just-
a little
we
bit.
just
I
did
don't
92
know if
cents.
everybody that's watching out there knows exactly what we meant by the rates, and so how they're being introduced on live stream. So if you want to,
yeah, basically what we're doing, we kind of did a couple of videos ahead of time to share that process with you. We are going to take the rates for every load that we ran. We're going to show you the miles, where it picked up, where it delivered, what date it picked up, what date it delivered, the miles, the revenue, and then what that equates to rate per mile. The reason we're trying to be transparent is because we're kind of giving you that up-to-date, current. This is not last week's numbers. This is this week's numbers. If they're good, they're good. If they're not what you thought they were going to be, then now you've got an idea. So you can kind of look at this and say, hey, maybe I want to send my truck that direction, or looking at that rate right there, maybe I don't. And maybe this is helpful. Some people may say it's crazy, but we're hoping that you find it to be helpful in your decision making. If you're in that position like Scott was just talking about, and you're sitting there trying to find your load while you're getting unloaded, maybe this assists you a little bit. Also, if you are a current driver, maybe this shows you what some of the other drivers are doing or what you're doing compared to the other drivers. So it's kind of being more transparent. We're not using names, but we are sharing what the current rates are right now. So, what you got, man? I see.
I read a comment and I understand the point of view on this one. I often fight this myself, but from a business side of it, if you can find a load out of Florida, go into a better area, why not take a load, even if it's only $1 a mile?
Appreciate it, Big Rig.
That covers more than your fuel. So if you break it down and you take $1 a mile load out of say, let's go to Orlando to Atlanta. Instead of deadheading up to Atlanta, if you can leave out of here on Monday morning, deliver Tuesday morning in Atlanta, reload. Or if on Monday you just get the attitude of, well, to hell with this freight down here, I'm not pulling this, I'm not putting my shoes on type mentality with $1 a mile freight, now it's costing you money to go to Atlanta to get that other paying load. Or if you take the $1 a mile up there, factor that load in with the next load out of Atlanta and the next load, and do a 3-load running average, your rate per mile is going to be better.
Yeah.
Because you're going to still profit something on $1 a mile. You're going to lose money when you haul sailboat fuel up to Atlanta.
For nothing. And that has been that's an everlasting dilemma that any trucker has faced at some point. When a driver looks at that, I have drivers literally that I can say the following to. Here's your options. I can load you out of Lakeland going to Atlanta. It's going to be about 470 miles, probably going to pay $450, okay? That's the option right now. Option 2 is we can deadhead up to Tifton, Valdosta. We can pick up another load that may be 200 and something mile deadhead plus 400 miles, and it pays $600. And now you've got the deadhead, which is lighter. I can still get the $1.30 a mile on the load, which then equates back to $1 a mile with the deadhead included. Those are always options. Some guys are like, send me to Georgia. I'm going to Georgia. I'm going to pick it up because I'm still going to get you that rate per mile you're after. The other guy is like the same way what you just said. There's no way my truck is going to roll that far without freight on it, being paid for it. So it's a dilemma that comes up here at the company. We try to figure a way to please both parties. It can be argued in both points. When I brokered, I would have loads out of here, and I'm like, look, man, here's the way I see it. The guy's like, I don't want your freight, I'm deadheading out. And I'm like, okay, when you're at that gas pump in Atlanta, and you're fueling, and you're watching that dollar sign go up and up and up, would you rather have my $450 in your pocket or not? And that's how I would sell it to them. Some guys were like, man, but I can get up there and get a load for tonight, and then put more money on my truck coming back down. It's just all how they run. So, I mean, there's both sides to it, but hey, that's how we do it. We don't really tell you the right, the wrong. We just bring you different points of views, and we let you dissect it. So that's always gonna.
I mean, you can argue it either way.
Yeah.
And Big Rig and Marty, these are all things that I have said before in the past, and I got the same opinion. Leave it on the dock. Let it sit there and rot. I don't care. But at the end of the day, I usually end up, I'll take it. I don't have to like it, but I'll take it up there.
Something to also give a point of view from a different point of view from the trucking side of, on the broker side of it. A lot of times these guys that are saying like leave it on the dock and screw the customers and stuff like that and brokers. The brokers are really truly offering you a decent percentage based upon what they have in the rate. I brokered a lot of freight out of Florida. There was no such thing as a load that paid $700 that I'm trying to do $400 on. The customers aren't stupid. The asset-based companies, you know who they are. They're there.
I was gonna say, right?
They will eat it up.
Yeah.
It's drivers that cause this problem. The problem that everybody's fussing about is created by drivers and companies who will take it. I promise you, forget 400 to go to Atlanta. I could get Atlanta covered sometimes for 350 with the right guy.
Right, because even,
what they had up there was way more important than what they had down here.
Because even intra freight. I mean, if you're an asset base and you got some kind of dedicated down to Miami and coming back is a problem. I mean, even if you're coming up for pennies, you're already losing money. The truck's coming back with paying the driver per mile and all that. So even if you're taking whatever comes to the table because that's better than nothing at that point. So it's just going to be revenue for that asset
and Big Rick
base.
says it all depends on the connector, which is kind of what Scott was saying.
Right.
If you got the connecting freight, which we try to do that, we chase the spot rates. That's what we do here. So I'm not tied down to dedicated and customer freight, and you've got to haul because it's contracted and all this nonsense. I'm like, give me the money. That's it. If it's there, I take it. If it's not, I look for something different.
And if it's not out of Atlanta, then we're not. If it's not paying out of Atlanta, why even go that way? So I mean,
it's one of those deals where it may take a load from Lakeland to Atlanta, then Atlanta up to Cincinnati, and by the time I've done that, and they've offered me 400 up to Atlanta, now they're trying to offer me 500 or 600 to Cincinnati. Why don't I just take a load for 900 miles for $1,100 going straight there? So I do that sometimes. Right. Now I'm in Cincinnati or Columbus, and I've got a better options. Okay, I might as well save the time for the driver with that double unload, double load. Why not just do one pick, one drop, and I'm done? And I'm on Wednesday, and now I have the world as my playground. Where do I want to go from Ohio? Well, I'm in the Midwest. I've got options, so we're gonna do it. And the driver's gonna see the significance of doing that. It's all about how you piece it together. So you're right, Big Rig. It's all about connecting the dots. If the team behind you is not connecting the dots, then the puzzle's missing some pieces.
Like I said, I'm going to take it, but I don't have to like it. You have to.
He said, when you guys buying lunch? Hey man, we can't leave this bunker until it's safe outside. So we're not ready to buy lunch yet because we're just not sure. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to make sure it's safe to leave here and I just hope it's
Uber Eats, man. Maybe they could deliver something to our bunker.
We're down to our last drink, so we're in trouble now. So we'll probably be leaving shortly. But no, we appreciate you guys and your comments. Again, we hope some of these rates help. That's what it's for. It's not really a point to showboat in any way. Some of these rates are great. Some of them are tight, not the best, and that's just both sides of it. So.
And all right, and so kind of switching gears a little bit, so the rates will continue to populate there, and we're open for discussion on that. But going back to your experiences as single one-man army, so to speak, running under your own authority, what were some other challenges you had being a Florida-based guy?
Insurance cost.
That's a dirty word.
I know.
That's a dirty word.
Don't make us kick you out the bunker, man.
Insurance companies do not like Florida.
Yeah, it's it's the thing we don't speak of. It's like Baltimore. It's the name we don't mention. So, no, that's a struggle. So the financial side of it, it's not cheap. And at the end of the day, that's something that I try to look at when I'm talking to someone who has either had their own authority or is thinking about getting their own authority. When you process all of the expenses, the trailer, the insurance, the cargo, the liability, all this thing comes into play. And you're doing all the legwork. You're paying for the load board because at that point you don't want to run with just a, load board 1, 2, 3. I mean, you want DAT.
I was gonna say a load board.
You want all. That's what I'm saying. You need to have multiple load boards, and then you need to have
those get expensive, and a lot of things that I didn't even know about. I mean,
the hidden expenses.
Yeah, I mean, you got your process server. You've got to make sure you do your MCS 150 every year. There's a lot of back office stuff that gets done that now it's you're a one-man show, you're the one doing it.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. So a lot of guys might equivalent that to being like a failure, right? And I don't think it's always that. I think at some time
it's
you're
good
more
experience.
effective. Yeah, I mean, you get the experience, you become more effective, and actually you probably create, you operate in this.
Well, I think it also gives you a better understanding, like with working with your dispatcher too, because you've been there, done that.
Right, dots
So-
connect a lot
so
better.
when they're telling you something is a struggle, and you're sitting there and don't understand that struggle at all. It's kind of like, yeah, whatever, man. Just the loads are everywhere. Of course they are.
Yeah.
But if you've experienced it, and you're like, hey, man, I know, here's a couple thoughts, because even you have the experience to share an experience and say, hey, this is an idea. This is something I've tried before. It worked before. Maybe it works now. I don't know.
Maybe it won't. We'll try.
Maybe it won't. Yeah. I mean, you never know. That's one of the things. You go somewhere, fingers crossed. I mean, I was looking for some trucks right now before I came on the podcast, and I was trying to set up something to be in Wisconsin to go down to Miami. And they're offering rates. I could get the same rate from down in Indianapolis as I could out of Wisconsin to go to Miami right now. Of course, that's right now. Things may change, but I'm just saying today that's what they're trying to offer. So we're already seeing that turn where they're going to try to constrict the rates coming into Florida because they're going to say produce is starting.
Yeah.
But then when you're down here and you want to go out and you're like, hey, produce is starting, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Well, what do you mean produce is starting? Like, there's no such thing, So again, that's kind of some of the things.
Hey, what about when you were a company guy? What were some factors maybe that indicated to you it was time to jump ship, maybe look for something different, better opportunity, because either A, you gave it your all and it just wasn't going to work, or at what point did you make that decision?
Man, that was a long time ago.
Just
I was
think,
only,
man,
I was
don't
only
think,
a
don't
company.
get hurt. Don't
I
get
was
hurt.
only a
but-
company driver for about 6 months, I think.
Well,
And then that was, I was done. I realized all I was doing was making somebody else a lot of money and not making enough money myself.
okay, well, 6 months. And then running under your own authority?
No,
and then-
no. I made, I'll call it a mistake. I went to one of the bigger companies, I won't mention any names, in Missouri. No, they're not affiliated with Amazon, so you can figure it out from there. And like I said, what a mistake that was. I left there, and believe it or not, I went to another company out of Dallas, Texas, and I was there for 8 years and did very good there on a dedicated run. Yes, Big Rig.
We're not going to mention any names.
Not gonna mention any names. I didn't say it. He did. Did really good at that company based out of Texas. I was there for over 8 years. Did a dedicated run, and then they changed some things in their operations where they, instead of having guys dedicated on their LTL line haul loads, they just wanted guys to come in, drop a trailer, sit and wait for a load to go out, and go wherever that load took them. And I was on a dedicated for so long that I just wasn't going to deal with it, and I wasn't making the money. And that's when I went out on my own.
Yeah, and there's always a driving force behind that.
Right, yeah.
So just kind of going over some comments. What's up, 308? Appreciate you joining. All you guys, if we're missing anybody, I'm sorry. Hey, we're trying to keep an eye on it. Thanks for the continued questions and comments and support. We appreciate that. Good and bad. Like us, don't like us. It's okay. You can say we're big boys. So there's always, we find that, like, there's always that desire is obviously someone start getting their own authority, even as a single truck, is trying to better themselves. They're trying to take that jump.
Right,
into some deep water, and they're trying to say, "Hey, I want to swim with the big boys, and I want to see what it's like." There's no one that sets themselves up for failure. It's just sometimes, and again, it's not like you said. I don't think it's that it's failure. I tell guys all the time, "Hey, man, if you leave and you start this adventure, the door's wide open, brother. I'm not that guy that's gonna say, "Haha, I told you so." I'm like, "Come on back and let us do what we do. We have the resources, and you have the resources, and together we make one hell of a team." So that's the goal that we try to do here. I'm not trying to say that, like, hey, you go do what I say, when I say, how I say, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying, look, we spend every single day with 5 or 6 dispatchers constantly on the phones through relationship building, knowing what the market's doing and where to go and where not to go. That's experience that you're never going to get as one guy with a laptop getting bounced around in your truck as they're unloading you.
Yeah, but
right?
to play devil's advocate, they got to try, right?
No,
because
no,
that's the beauty of it. You got to get out there. You got to try. Just have that open mind, but take good advice from people who have done it before. And not everybody out there is just selling that dream. Like, for example, we had an individual kind of do the same thing where the guy purchases the truck and it's a lease to purchase and it's this one-stop shop, and they're like, hey, by the way, you could get your own authority. We do all that for you. They box it up. They put a nice big bow on it, and now what? Where's the customers? How long have you been in business? So just be careful when you're out there doing it. Just do your research, I guess, is what I'm saying. You know,
The questions was saying, are you trying to? I guess it was for us. Are you trying to say dedicated is not good? No, I wouldn't say that dedicated is not good. I would say dedicated is not good for us, for this particular company. We're 100% owner operators. I do not have any company drivers. So when I have a customer to take care of, right now my customer is the owner operator. When I have a customer to take care of, now I've got to tell this guy, hey man, I need you here at this time. Be there to pick this up. And he says, I can't. I have something going on at home. I got to take care of something. That's not an option any longer. What do I do when I have no one? So, you kind of watch that.
Right, but dedicated, now it's also perspective, right? Because one thing, I just took a recruiting call this morning, and it's very similar to Scott's situation here. What happens with dedicated? In this business, nothing's forever. And so you got to be willing to part with it and do something different. Because
missed a good load by watching y'all. Sorry about that, 308. I mean, you can give us a call.
Call Ralph. He'll get you a good load.
You can call his dispatcher over here. He'll find you one.
So something is eventually gonna change on that dedicated. Whether a trucking company closed down and now somebody else got their hands in it, and now their fleet comes in, things changed around. And I'm sure even what happened to you, where they said now you got to sit around and get a different load. Yeah, well, where's that load getting to? Is it getting me connected to another customer? So
well, it was kind of twofold. Another part of it is with it being a dedicated, I was home every week, and when they switched things up, and I had ran a dedicated load for them for 7 years. The company got bought out by another company,
there you go.
And they changed the way they operate, and I wasn't making. Not only was I not making the money I was making before, but I wasn't getting the home time either. So I figured if I'm not going to get the home time, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to make more money.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Like, this happens time and time again, and I kind of just mentioned that. And so as long as you know dedicated is not forever, stack your chips while you can and be ready when it goes away, it goes away.
A lot in the recruiting world, you're going to find that question coming up a lot because dedicated gives someone comfort.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them feel like, well, I don't like what you guys are saying. You're talking about working the spot market. So what you're telling me is you really don't even have any freight. Every morning when you wake up, I'm not going to have a load. So that kind of fear moves in a little bit, and it's like that's their perspective when they're like, oh, but dedicated. Well, dedicated means like I've got a lane, we're going to run right here. Oh, you've got something. And I think why you hear that a lot in recruiting because they're definitely it's like a safety blanket for them, a security blanket, I guess.
Tomorrow morning will be the first time I woke up without a load in 2.5 weeks, but it's because I'm going home.
Right, and you're going home, and
I mean, other than that,
time off and well deserved, and in that though. But you understand how they feel like there's some kind of
and that's fine. But
right.
But you're trying to create stability in an unstable, volatile industry, right? So
but you miss opportunity. If your contracted rate on a lane is $1,000, and all of a sudden spot market shoots up to $1,200 or $1,300. And now you're trying to go to that customer and going, hey man, listen, come on, $1,200. Yeah, they're like, yeah, well when spot was around $900 and I was paying you $1,000 every single time, you got yours then. Don't come talking to me right now. I've had this conversation with customers before. They don't want to hear it. But now, being able to chase that market, when it goes up, boom, I'm here. I'm taking advantage of it. If it's not here, let's move over here. We try to have our finger on that pulse to figure out where, toe in the water, man, toe in the water. That's why we're posting these rates also. Toe in the water so you can tell the temperature. So. Somebody said that a truck needs to be dispatched at $180 an hour. I mean, I guess it all depends on how you want to look at it and break it down. I mean, some guys are more comfortable by the hourly side of things, the miles per side of things, but there's going to be downtime, dead time, uncontrollable things, traffic.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it kind of hourly, what happens when things are beyond your control and there's detention time? Now what? Now you're going to suffer?
I was just going to say, I don't know how freely I can speak, but I want to see that.
Freely, my friend. Freely.
I want to see it. I want to see proof that guy got $180 an hour for detention sitting at a shipper or receiver. And then we'll go further into the conversation about how $180 an hour is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a good point. Dedicated is only good until the carrier is outbid, and
Yep.
there goes your dedicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, customers are not your friend. So they're not interested in your sob stories. They're not interested in what Scott's got going on at home or how bad he needs this load. If they can get it done cheaper with a carrier that can provide the same quality service, they're going to do that. So your relationship's going to go so far, and that's going to be it. So money talks, and the rest walks. So
Man, if I get $180 an hour for detention, I could take a couple weeks off.
he's like,
Paid.
they're like, Scott, you're empty. No, I'm not. I'm not. Put
No.
something back on me for a
No,
minute.
I'm not. No, there's
I
still
feel you in there moving
there's
around.
my scale on the desk says there's still something in there. No.
You need to go back and check. Why are you holding me up right now?
So I think Mike's trying to trap me here.
Uh-oh.
What's the first truck Scott would suggest for a first-time owner-operator? Definitely not a brand new truck. I would go with a used truck, do a very good inspection on it. A lot of dealers you could take a truck to and have the truck inspected. Some places even have dynos. Put it on the dyno, make sure there's not any problems with it. Inspect it yourself, take it out, drive it on the interstate, make sure that there's not anything obviously wrong with it. As far as a payment goes, obviously it has to be something that you're comfortable with, but I think in the $1,400 to $1,600 a month range for a used truck is about where you should be at. And one other thing to add to that, and there are companies out there, I don't remember the name of the company, I can post it in the comments later, I can look it up, but you can get a extended warranty for the truck, and the warranties, they have different levels where you can get just an engine warranty, you can get a transmission warranty, complete driveline warranty, you can get all the emissions and after treatment system, but I would highly recommend getting a warranty to cover you for the first 6 to 12 months. If you can get something for a 12-month time, that covers you your first year of any major expenses. And what you have to look at, and something that a lot of people forget, is when you do have a breakdown, not only are you out the revenue, you're out the repair bill, you're out any future revenue that you could have been doing, you're out the expense of a hotel, food. I mean, there's a lot of ancillary things that add up that you don't really think about. You think, oh, I just got to go and get a turbo, it's going to cost me $2,500, but you don't think about, well, I had to stay in the hotel 3 nights because the shop's behind, and I had to buy 3 meals a day, and it all adds up. And with a warranty, at least you can have the ease of mind that, hey, I don't have to pay for the repair. Yeah, I'm out the revenue and I'm out the hotel. So if you look at it as a 3-part cost, you can eliminate one of those costs.
Did you find if you ever had to use your warranty, they were pretty swift about it, or they kind of, because I've seen some guys get burnt where, all right, let me identify the issue. They do, and now they got to kind of see, was it your negligence that kind of got you to that point?
No, and the warranty that I purchased, luckily I never had to use it. But I did have it there for security. It's a good insurance plan. But they have really good reviews. And the place that I bought the trucks from is a bigger company that leases the trucks. They're out of Tifton, Georgia. They provide you, when you lease a truck from them, they provide you with 6 months.
Okay.
I think it's 6 months, unlimited miles, and I paid extra to add another 6 months so that I would have 12 months. Because I knew the first 12 months when I first got started I put one truck on the road that was already paid off, and then I bought another truck, so I only had one payment with 2 trucks running. But I knew if I got a costly repair on that new truck that had a payment on it, I knew it was going to get real bad real fast.
Okay. Yep. Well, and sometimes it's that. It's not a matter of if, but when.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
So-
yeah. Breakdowns are not if, it's when. That's
Yeah.
even on a brand new truck.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, what would you say the importance also? Because I think this is where it gets a lot of guys putting back for a maintenance fund.
I highly recommend that.
because I find that I cannot tell you over and over and over again how many people come in with a, even a moneymaker. They come in with it, and then, boom, they're one issue, and they're done. They're out of the game completely, and they don't get that money back. And they're not. There's not a reserve there. So I would say warranty, yes, is important. Big Red said he didn't with his international warranty. He didn't have to pay a penny. There's all kinds. As Scott said, there's all kinds of options out there. Explore what's best for you. But nothing beats cold hard cash put to the side if you're taking that endeavor and you're making that investment, because you got to protect that investment. What good is it? Okay, I've got me a 2015 now. That's nice, wonderful. But if it's done, it's done. If you can't pay to fix it, everything you've invested, all your hard work, all that saving is gone. So, I think some form of maintenance fund.
And then guys know,
Put away.
and I always bring up when I say recruiting calls because it's what's out there, right? Guys are calling in and sharing their stories and so forth. And I got a call. A guy couldn't even run Southeast Regional, so to speak, because he's like, look, man, I get out of Florida, one breakdown, I'm out of business. I don't have any money to fix that truck, so I need to be intra. Replacing a turbo is replacing a turbo, whether you're doing it at near the house or away from the house. It's he's in a hard spot, that guy.
You guys wonder if 308 found a load? I haven't seen him in a minute. Let us know, brother. Let us know if you found a load. We didn't mean to distract you. I feel bad. So hopefully you found a load. Hopefully you guys are finding these rates now or later on tonight when you're watching this. For those that aren't seeing it live, hopefully you find these rates in the comments helpful. Again, they are 100% real. The loads that we ran this week, not edited, not picked and choose, man. As you can see, there's plenty of them in there for like 96 cents. I saw some of them come up. I was like,
what are we doing?
Obviously I'd like to see the better ones, the 230s, the 240s, the 250s, something like that. The 190s are always nice, but it is what it is. So we couldn't get to the part where you got the 235 or 250 a mile without taking the one that paid $1.60 a mile. So that's what we talk about all the time. You got to connect. As it's already been mentioned in the comments, it's about putting every piece of the pie together. You know what I mean?
Hey.
And it's like, I tell drivers sometimes, I'm like, it's like that cheesecake they sell at Sam's that has all the different kinds in it, and your favorite's like the strawberry, but you got all these other ones maybe you don't like. And I'm like, well, to get the strawberry, you got to eat these first, right? So you take the good with the bad, but because then at that point you can enjoy that strawberry a whole lot better. So you know what I mean? It's just about perspective. We have to keep our focus on being more positive.
And there's many ways to the top of the mountain. So success, Scott did it one way, somebody else will be successful another way. So there's many ways to get there. For us, it's just sharing good experiences, bad experiences. We can learn from somebody else's bad experience as well, right? So it's just positive feed here.
Scott, what would you say? What were some of the positive things with having your own authority? I know there had to be some. I hope there had to be
Man, why you
some.
put me on a spot like that?
You're like,
Yeah. Can we pause?
That's the problem with being live. There's no pause. So there you go. Maybe
was it renewing insurance part? That part?
Was that your favorite time?
No, that was definitely not my favorite time.
Was it when you had to fight for that truck order not used? Was that fun? When you got there and there was no load, and now it's like 5 o'clock and there's nothing left to pick up?
Oh, that was fun.
Is that fun?
3 o'clock in the morning, phone call, say I need a tire.
Would you like to have 6 people looking for your load at 5 o'clock, or just yourself?
I'd rather have what I witnessed earlier. 4 people looking for one truck.
Yeah. So see, that's the situation we had. We had a guy had a little bit later delivery.
308 still looking.
Yeah.
We need to help him out. Where are you at, 308?
Yeah.
Give it a shout out. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, we had a guy. I don't know what's going on, man. We had a guy sitting in Indianapolis, and then he was about out of hours. We're trying to find something that's going to fit that he can, safely deliver tomorrow and still have an option to do something else for his long run. And it was rough. So literally, I gave him this serious look, and I'm like, come on, guys, all hands on deck, man. Where are you at? Come on, let's help. Let's all help this guy right now, because no man left behind. You know what I mean? We're gonna do everything we can, fight tooth and nail, no matter who it is. If it's Scott or any of the drivers we have on our team, we appreciate all of them, and we want to be able to give them the best. And that's the key thing too, is understanding your situation and what the best is. At empty at 8 o'clock in the morning in Indianapolis, versus being empty at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Indianapolis. There's a big difference, right? You've got the now he's every time he laughs, I have to look down and see what it is.
Yeah.
So Chicago need $3 a mile. Okay.
Not right now out of Chicago.
Do you go to the island? Found your solution.
Yeah. He's talking about Hawaii, not Long Island, not New York.
Do you go to Alaska? Because we can make this work. So a lot of things, to think about is understanding the best is what's currently the best in that moment. You know what I mean?
That's some factual information right there.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think the guy who thinks that working less because you can't afford breakdown is doomed.
Best business plan ever.
Yeah. And
Whenever you think you got enough reserve built up in the bank in your checking account, take it out of your checking account, transfer it into your savings, and start over. Because something's going to happen.
Big Red said we all three can lease on. Well, he's only going to be satisfied with you. Because I work at the back of the house. So, but Scott here, unfortunately, is not available and will not be doing any employment verifications in the next week or so.
Dang.
Unless that one comes back you told me about.
He
He
yeah.
did try for one.
Yeah.
Was that trucking company Chip?
Chip and Dale?
Dale?
Yeah.
Chip and Dale?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, you were driving for them? Or gonna
No, it wasn't a driving job. It was some kind of dancing game.
Oh, like Zumba.
Yeah, something. I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
where
They
you
just
got
told-
the vest. It
they
just
just
didn't
told me to
fit.
sign up.
He said, he needs a button-down shirt for that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The Green Scout things.
No,
It's
and
awesome,
to
man.
Mike's point, when commented, yeah, that guy's pretty much doomed on that. And again, company guys, I hear this day in and day out. Company guys that are local and looking to buy a truck to be local in Florida, don't do it. You just weigh your options as a company driver, see what you can make. You're probably going to be just about the same with less headache and less suffering. So we like to give you the real advice, and I tell guys shop around, but do the numbers. Really, really dig in before you do something like that. Because I think if
That's good. Oh, I think someone wanted to know why you left.
Why did I leave where?
I don't know. It just
Seen
said,
that.
why did you leave? Thanks, Big Ro. Appreciate your
Why did I
support.
leave my
I'm gonna say, why
previous
did you leave,
place before here?
Or why'd you leave Chippendales? Maybe, I don't know.
No, I never made
Oh,
it
you
that
didn't
far.
make it that far. You didn't make it past the first interview.
No, I haven't even got a call yet for the interview.
Don't lose hope, brother.
No, I
Right
filled
around
out
the corner.
I filled out the paperwork and sent him a picture, and I haven't even got a phone call back yet.
How many stamps did you put on there? Because that picture probably would have took 2 stamps.
don't worry, Mike's got a casting couch out
Oh
there.
yeah!
He said, why did you leave Chippendale?
I never made it, Mike.
He said they charged by the pound. He was like, screw this. Not doing this. Oh, man, that's good stuff. So,
Hey, there must be a heater vent right here.
he said, please don't show us. You got some singles in my pockets.
Keep him there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, in all serious note, though, I mean, I know you kind of was joking about it not being anything good with that whole process, but something drew you to it, and I think if we can talk about that for a second, what drew you to the idea of having your own authority, you might help that guy that's kind of in a position right now where he's thinking about it. He's kind of heard
At the
horror story,
time,
but-
the market was good,
okay,
and I saw a need for capacity, so I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring and see what happened.
and I've seen that happen a lot in 2018. You saw a lot of startup companies happen, and now we're seeing the residual effects of that coming through in 2019 and the beginning of 2020 with a lot of companies closing their doors, and it's just like it's not as easy as it looks. Okay, it's there's a lot that goes into it. You're putting yourself at a lot of risk, and it's not an easy industry. We all know that. Everybody that's leaving comments knows that. Everybody that watches this video knows that. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of vulnerability. It's a lot of things that are out of your control happening when you're doing the best that you can. When you're running and you're on time, and and then somebody else or some other situation screws your day, and it costs you financially. It seems unfair, but it is what it is. It's about. Are you looking at that blue dot or?
No, standing here makes me look a lot more bald than what I really am.
I thought you were dancing, man. I was like,
That's
no
why-
wonder you didn't get a
I'm
call
like, bro,
back.
Gave you enough room. I don't understand. Like he's like, back up, man. I need my room. So,
Well, and to your point, Mike, I think you're absolutely right. And you just have to look at it with the perspective of it is your business. It will continue to be your business. Just some things, it might be better off for you, that individual at the moment, to outsource a couple things.
Sure.
Right? So you're just basically...
there's a lot of help out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and use
there's-
it as a tool, not necessarily as a negative thing,
And
right?
we always say align yourself with a company that has the same work ethic as you do. So don't put yourself out there if you're a hard worker and align yourself with some guy that you're calling and it's 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon and he's like, what? Okay, man, yeah, I'll find you a load shortly. Just give me a minute, okay, buddy? I'm a little busy right now. Okay.
Was that your first dispatcher?
Who's that?
It's
That
like-
sounds like Ralph.
This is Ralph, like, calm down, Scott. I'm gonna find a load for you,
Yeah,
man.
that does sound like
You
Ralph.
know,
That's his younger brother.
No, Ralph. When Ralph gets excited, I don't know if you noticed this because Ralph's a big guy. He's been on the show before. You know, he's like, "Oh, dude, somebody just got fool," and then all of a sudden he talks high. He's watching this now. He's probably super ticked at me. His voice gets really high,
Yeah,
and
it
almost
does.
a bubble, and it sounds like
It does.
Kermit the Frog. He's like, Kermit the Frog here. I'm gonna find a load for you, Scott. Okay, you know, and he's like, so. I don't know what it is, but when he gets excited, he gets a bubble in his throat. It's like the greatest thing ever. But if you're lining yourself up with a company like that, and you're a hard worker and you're dedicated and you're putting in the effort, and then you got some bozo on the other end of the line that just can't get something done. Not saying that's you, Ralph, not at all. But, you know, that's when I would kind of take a step back and I would look. I met Ralph. He doesn't sound like that. You know the irony of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good part about this. I'm not sure who's writing that stuff on behalf of Super Trucker Podcast. Kermit Frog here. It's a me. But you want to make sure. I always say this again. We're not into jumping ship. We're not in trying to recruit anybody over here on these podcasts or anything like that. It's all about simply saying, make sure you align yourself with a company that has the same heart and passion for what you're doing as you do, and they mimic your efforts. And if they don't, call them out and just say, hey, look, man, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's make this happen, and let's see how they respond. Give them a chance, and then if they don't, call Christian.
Call me. Call me.
Call Christian.
He's like,
Just saying, call me.
And then get used to these 3 words. Trust the process.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say I love you.
No.
I was like, man, you
Whoa.
just looked me in the eye, bro. You're like, get ready for these 3 words. I was
Should
like,
I leave?
Whoa.
I'm like, okay.
Man!
Chip and Dale again. Here we go.
Maybe you need to cool off.
Maybe you guys didn't hear this. I don't want to say this, but he was like, then you get ready for these 3 words.
Yeah, that's exactly how I said it. Oh, that was definitely the motion I made.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Someone's dreaming.
Trust the process. Yeah, that's something we say all the time because I said it. I've said it on phone calls. I say it all the time. Trust the process. You partnered with us for a reason. Then let's work together. We have to trust that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. If you're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock and you say you're going to be there at 8 o'clock, that's when I expect you there. If you're not going to be there at 8 o'clock, I expect you to pick up the phone and let me know you're not going to be there at 8 o'clock so we can adjust accordingly. We work together as a partnership. But yeah, trust the process because we want you to be successful. I take it serious. I take pride in it. If I found out that we have an issue, something's not going the way it should, you can ask anybody in the team out there. I'm not gonna go run around yelling and screaming and kicking stuff, but I'm gonna be pretty upset. I'm passionate about it because I really do care. Because I have to stand on this at this microphone and talk and say these things, but then I've got to look this guy in the eye. And if I
I'm not
fail,
making eye contact with you
yeah, we're
anymore.
not making any more eye contact after that. So I have to look this guy in the eye. And Christian has to talk to these guys on the phone, and he's got to as he's going through his process, and then he's got to sit down in front of them. And if our word is nothing, you're going to see right through it. So, yeah, we're not saying we're the best experts in the world. People get on here all the time saying that we're a bunch of raccoons and don't know anything. Whatever, that's fine, man.
That's pretty harsh, man. Who said that?
I coached Christian through it. I told him it's just YouTube.
guys
They're
get me
called
into?
trolls. Don't worry about
guys
it.
get me
It's
into?
okay. We're here to have a good time, talking about the industry, and share what little bit we can that might help with you, and interact with other people that are in the same industry. So we appreciate it all. Yelling and screaming and kicking is my job. I wasn't going to say anything, Mike, but yes, that Mike's like a tornado. It comes through. So, all right, man. Any other questions? Any other comments?
I think we're good, and I think just to elaborate kind of on what Mike said, give them the chance, but deliver the promise. So exactly, wherever you are, make sure that you do your part. Just be stand up with your business and do your portion. If they fail to do their part, then it's time to make a move. But make sure you're doing the best you can.
Yep.
Best foot forward.
Be flexible, be adaptable, be willing to work with them in any way you can, and to become a successful owner operator. That's the goal for all this, and to hope that it helps one person out there. So as always, guys, hey, we really appreciate everybody with the comments, interacting.
Well, I was gonna say, be willing to run too. Be willing to run that 70 out. When I first came in and it was talked about how you run throughout the week and get a load on the weekend to deliver on Monday and get a restart, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Tell me how to run my logs. I know what I'm doing. But turns out you will run your hours out during the week if you are willing to. And it doesn't take very long for them to figure out if you'll run or not.
Yeah, and that's it. We talked to a guy, Christian, you know this is your words. You never bumped a dock for me, I've never booked a load for you. So we don't know each other until we know each other. And we do it as quick as possible. We identify with you. We understand your way of running, not the talking, because I got guys, I literally had a guy a while back came in and he was talking about being a runner. And as he was leaving, he through the window, he's like, don't forget, a 700-mile-a-day guy, don't forget me. And like the very first load was 300-something miles, and he was late for it the next day. Wow.
See, I don't think when I came in and talked to you, we even talked about that. I don't tell you what I can do. I just if things work out, the deal works out, and I lease on, I'm going to show you what I can do. I'm not going to tell you.
Well, that's because when you're recruiting, the conversations, you have to allow the conversation to go in the direction naturally, right? Mm-hmm. And if some guys have major concerns with, right off the bat, PC, can I move on? Is the yard move, kick me to drive line? Is it on duty? And when you're hovering, and those are the questions that you're asking.
How much money can I make?
Oh, yeah.
How much money can I make?
Tell me who you are.
How much money can I make?
That's a number.
It's up to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. And
it's up to you. It's up to you as the driver.
But just like that dedicated, people want that guarantee, right? But can I say, and you guarantee me that your truck will never break down? Like, do you sign on the line on that? You can't. There's no guarantees in this, and a lot of it is, I had guys that made, 6,000 gross, and you got guys that did 1,200 gross because he did one load for the week because he had to come back because of an emergency. And emergencies are fine. It's just that all of that stuff comes at a cost because you're a business owner. So you have to understand. You had to make a decision. You did it, but it comes at a cost. And so the better everybody understands all that, and then it becomes a level playing field. And it's just, at that point, it's business, right?
Well, it's just a matter of, again, like you said, the 3 words. Trust the process. If there's a good process in place, trust the process where you're at. Let them work it out. I feel like you guys are
bigger
talking
studio
about over here.
I think somebody's making jokes out there on the road.
We need a bigger studio. Yeah.
I think we fit one more. No.
Yeah, we can get another one in here.
You might be talking about our egos, because we're just 3 foolish raccoons that don't know anything.
Yeah.
According to Jarhead.
Oh, wow.
I don't look like any of us have missed a meal.
No, we haven't missed a meal.
No.
We dig in garbage cans all the day. That's how we come with stuff. Hey, guys, as always, thanks for tuning into the Super Trucker Podcast. We hope you had fun. We hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did. Every Thursday at 2 p.m. May change that up. We'll see. It seems to be working pretty good. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the communication. Hope these rates helped out. And, again, like, share, and subscribe. Guys, anything else?
That's it,
Again,
guys.
thanks, Scott, for joining us. We appreciate you coming, man. You're awesome. We appreciate your hard work. Keep it up. Please don't stay home too long.
No, I'm not.
No, you deserve it, brother. Thank you for all that you do. Thanks, Christian, for all that you do. And thanks, you guys, for tuning in. As always, drive safe and keep on trucking.
Peace out.